As of recently, I put a TikTok out where I went to do my theory test. Long story short, I passed. I just want to go behind the scenes of what actually went through my head when avoiding it at first, booking the thing, going through the whole thing of actually practicing theory tests and smashing it out of the park. The first thing about a theory test is the thought of driving. For those of you who are watching this who are maybe in your early 20s like me, you have to start thinking about your theory test and driving and all that. My entire family, Peter's driving, my best mates are driving. That just put a bit of unwanted pressure on me to do the theory test. When it came around time when I was getting the eyeballs for doing it, I avoided it like the plague, to be completely honest. I did not want anything to do with it until eventually my buttons were pushed. I just want to explain how I got through the fear, how I got through practicing for the theory test, and how I passed it. Now, a lot of young adults like myself and a lot of you people who might be watching this who are around the same age as me, you do feel the pressure of driving, doing the theory test. The issue was, for me, with my friends and family, once everyone did it, it was like a ticking time bomb until I'd eventually do it. And so it was always on the back of my mind, why can't I just get it over and done with, like everyone else? But when the thought came to mind, I just felt overwhelmed. I was a bit nervous than I thought. But that's okay. It is the first time you ever have to start off needing to learn how to drive. Eventually it did get to a point where avoiding it isn't going to help me. And so it took a little bite up the arse for me to finally clock on about doing it. When the lads were driving, it eventually got back into my head. I decided to finally dip my toes into going back into the theory test. And I will say that when I started out with the practice theories, even though it's 40 questions and you have 40 minutes to do it, you're spending maybe 10 to 15 minutes doing it. But if you see that you failed, not only is that giving you more motivation, but it is also giving you a reason to be like, fuck that, I'm not doing that anymore. That's what happened with me. And that's the same for a lot of people who practice their theory tests under the fact, if you're thinking of driving, not like, I have to drive, I have to do it. When that mentality is in your head, you don't care if you see it fail. You are restarting the thing. You are going at it again. I realised to myself, the more I practice, the more fails I do. If I discipline myself enough, I will become more familiar and be more confident. And because of that, I can be consistent. All those three factors add up to just doing it non-stop. We start making it a habit to start doing it more regularly. It doesn't matter really what you're doing with your day. And I think because of the fact that I am unemployed and I haven't worked in ages, I have plenty of time. But even if you are working, there's always time to take 10 to 15 minutes to do a little practice theory. Just find a bit of time when you get home from work, after your shower and you're relaxed. Go on your phone and just do a bit of the practice theory 3-4 times. See how you do. If you fail, okay, just do it again. Just because you failed doesn't mean, okay, fuck it, I'll knock off for tonight. Seeing you fail only makes you a bit more determined to keep going. And that's what I did as well. Sometimes I was failing, but because I kept it consistent and was more familiar, because most questions that came up, most questions are the same. You're familiar with the questions and you get them right. Sometimes a question will come up in the practice theory and you know the answer before you even have to read the question. And because of that, the more I passed, the more I believed in myself that, you know what, I could actually do well if I just booked the theory test. And so this kind of all leads up to actually just booking a theory test and going to do it. A lot of people in their life can do a few practice theories, but will never actually just book the thing. It's a big obstacle to get through because you don't realise just how much effort you can put in to doing a practice theory test. Going maybe 2-3 weeks, continuously doing it and doing well. But the one thing you can't do is book it. The best way that I got over it, well, I was kind of forced to do it, to be honest with you. My mum came home from work. She walked into my room, she saw me doing a practice theory and she was like, are you going to book your test or not? And then she told me, you know what, no, Dan, just book it right now. And what did I do? I booked it. Because you are trying to do your theory test and like getting to the steps, it's going to cost you. So yes, I paid 45 quid to the theory test. Booked the theory test a few days in advance. I think it was a week and a half I had to practice. Give yourself a week or two to practice. You don't need to go into it and book it for the next day, because that's just going to put so much unneeded pressure on you. And so this all leads up to today. It happens with everyone. It does not matter how often, how many times you've done the practice theory. You are going to be nervous going into it. You may have done all this practice, but it's a simple reset. Whereas the theory test, you fail, you have to book it again. But you don't want that. That's the issue. So you put the time and effort into doing it. You will be nervous, but just make sure you stay consistent with doing your stuff. Because I'll tell you now, like, it's nerves that get you, and that feeling will never go away. But the thing is, it's okay. I reminded myself that it doesn't matter if it's me or anyone else on the planet. Like, all it is that when nerves are kicking in, it doesn't matter. It's normal. Because if you are nervous, that just simply means you care. Because there's no way you don't care if you're not nervous. And the key is just staying focused, knowing your stuff, and that's it. Do a few practice theories before you go, depending on when you book it. I made sure to book my theory test a little bit in the afternoon so that I would have time to practice. When I get up, I do a little bit of the practice theory. I passed. I was going to the gym. I was on the treadmill. Did it whilst I was on the treadmill. I passed again. Walking home, passed again. Making lunch, passed again. About 4, 5, 6 times I had done the practice theory and I passed every time. I was confident going in. But again, you walk in and the nerves will hit you. And so what did I do? I sat down on that computer. I just read the instructions that I had to do. 40 questions. For some reason I had 45 minutes instead of just 40 because I had to read a bit extra. But that's all it is. Being consistent makes you confident and makes you familiar with what you're doing. That goes for everything in life. Builds familiarity, builds confidence. And so when I sat down, did the test, lo and behold, what happened? I passed. And that was it. You just look at that screen, seeing that you did it. All that time and effort you've put into practicing for this theory test is done. Because you've gotten one of the hardest things out of the way when it comes to life, is learning how to drive. But getting out of that way with the theory test is the biggest obstacle you will face. Yes, it will be getting your lessons and paying for your lessons and all that crap, but that's something you just do out on the road. The theory test is completely different to you being out in the car with someone on the road, because it is genuinely one of the hardest things to get out of the way. And so for anyone watching here who has to do their theory test, remember, if you're stuck, it's okay, but just remember one thing: avoiding it won't make it any easier, because once you book it, go and do it, and if you pass, you'll feel amazing. As I'm recording this video, I did this morning go out, get stuff sorted out, and I'm currently waiting on my learner's permit to be mailed to me in the next 5 to 10 days. Do your theory test, book it, get it out the way, because that is one bit of weight off your shoulders. Good luck to any of you who are doing your theory tests, and best luck. Hopefully you do pass. If you fail, then keep your head up, be consistent, get familiar with everything, and just rebook it. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. We're nearly at 900 subs, so I greatly appreciate it if we could get to that target maybe at the end of the summer, if we're able to. But for now, I will see you lot in the next video. Peace.